Hello, welcome to our classes. I am Dr. K.K. Misra. This video tutorial is on descriptive questions and answers on managerial economics. This is part 7. Now here I will be discussing from question number 23 to question number 26. Now come to the question. Question number 1. Explain manager's utility function. This may be asked in your examinations. In previous question papers, previous years, this question many times has been asked. So here you try to understand, though whether this is in your syllabus at present or not, but you need to go through this. Oliver E. Williamson hypothesized that profit maximization would not be the objective of the managers of a joint stock organization. This theory, like other managerial theories of the firm, assumes that utility maximization is a manager's sole objective. The managers can use their discretion to frame and execute policies which would maximize their own utilities rather than maximizing the shareholders' utilities. This is essentially the principal agent problem. This could, however, threaten their job security if a minimum level of output is not attained by the firm to distribute among the shareholders. Yes, there is an amount of risk here in maximizing manager's utility function to the profit maximization of the company, and hence the shareholders' value may be reduced if the below minimum profit is made in any particular financial year. There are assumptions to this model: imperfect competition in the markets, divorce of ownership and management. A minimum profit constraint exists for the firms to be able to pay dividends to their shareholders. It is also known as the managerial discretion theory. In large modern firms, shareholders and managers are two separate groups. The shareholders want the maximum return on their investment and hence the maximization of profits. The managers, on the other hand, have consideration other than profit maximization in their utility functions. Thus, the managers are interested not only in their own emoluments but also in the size of their staff and expenditure on them. So इस वजह से दोनों में कंपनी का ऑब्जेक्टिव जो है प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइजेशन एंड मैनेजर्स यूटिलिटी फंक्शन, दोनों में कभी कभी रिस्क या तारतम्य नहीं बैठ पाता है. नाउ thus taking that into account, Williams' theory is related to the maximization of the manager's utility, which is a function of the expenditure on staff and emoluments and discretionary funds. To the extent that pressure from the capital market and competition in the product market is imperfect, the manager therefore has discretion to pursue goals other than profits. So this happens usually in imperfectly competitive market. The managers derive utility from a wide range of variables. For this, Williamson introduces the concept of expense preferences. It means that managers get satisfaction from using some of the firm's potential profits for necessary spending on items from which they personally benefit. To pursue his goal of utility maximization, the manager directs the firm's resources in three ways. 1. The manager desires to expand his staff and to increase their salaries. More staff is valued because they lead to the manager getting more salary, more prestige and more security. Such staff expenditures by managers are denoted by S. 2. To maximize his utility, the manager indulges in feather bedding, such as pretty secretaries, company cars, too many company phones, perks for employees, etc. Such expenditures are denoted by M. 3. The manager likes to set up discretionary funds for making investments to advance or promote company projects that are close to his heart. Discretionary profits or investments are denoted as D are what remains with the manager after paying taxes and dividends to shareholders in order to retain an effective control of the firm. Now, this is the manager's utility function that is denoted by U as a function of SMD explained above. इसकी एनालिसिस हम यहाँ ज़्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाएंगे, आप अपना समय देकर के यहाँ पढ़ सकते हैं क्योंकि ये इस बार के सिलेबस में है, ये आपको चेक करना पड़ेगा, देखना पड़ेगा, बट ये कई बार सिलेबस चेंज होते रहते हैं, इसलिए ये क्वेश्चन हमने डाल दिया, प्रीवियस ईयर्स में ये पूछे गए हैं। सो रिलेशनशिप को लेकर के यहाँ पर हम देख सकते हैं, पढ़ सकते हैं, ये पूरा डिटेल हमने यहाँ पर दे रखा है और इस तरीके से अगर आप चाहें तो इसको आप पढ़ सकते हैं। अब हम चलेंगे दूसरे जो इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं उस पर हम आगे। Exceptions to the law of demand. This is something very important that you need to understand. Exceptions to the law of demand. What is exception? Exception means obviously the one which does not follow the law of demand. What does law of demand state? Law of demand states that other things being equal, the prices, when the price of a product rises, demand for the same decreases and vice versa. So any purchase or response from customers, or you can say the relationship between demand and price, if does not follow this standard law of demand, that will become exception. There are certain cases where law of demand does not hold good. Exceptions to the law of demand occur because of intra-marginal bias. These bias does not start or stop consumption with a change in price, but merely increases or decreases their consumption. Like Giffen goods, also termed as Giffen paradox. You are surprised to find out that as the profit of bread increased, the British workers purchased more bread and not less of it. This was something against the law of demand. The reason given by him that when the prices of bread went up, it caused such a large decline in the purchasing power of the poor workers that they were forced to cut down the consumption of meat and other more expensive foods. Such goods which exhibit direct price demand relationship are called Giffen goods. Now, conspicuous necessities, like demand for commodities which are necessary for life is not affected by a change in their prices. For example, if salt is rupees 6 per kg and the price falls rupees 4 per kg, of quantity of its consumption cannot be increased. Commodities of prestige. Law of demand does not apply on the commodities of prestige, also because such commodities are used by very rich people for whom price does not matter. Then ignorance of consumers. Due to lack of knowledge, consumers happen to be purchasing certain items and they hardly bother about the price of those items. अगर prices high हैं फिर भी शायद वो ignorance में खरीद लेते हैं. Emergencies. Law of demand does not apply in case of emergencies such as war, famine, curfew, etc. Future expectations. Law of demand does not apply when prices are expected to change further. If price of a commodity increases and there is an expectation of further increase in its price, demand of such commodity will further increase. Now, sales revenue maximization. This is popularly known as Baumel's theory. Perhaps this also may not be in the syllabus that you need to check, then only you go through it. So this is why I will not put much emphasis on it. Baumel's sales revenue maximization. Since it was asked in the yesteryear's examination, this is why I have included this. Every business firm aims at maximizing its sales revenue. Now that is price into quantity rather than its profit. Hence this Baumel's hypothesis has come to be known as sales maximization theory or revenue maximization theory. According to Baumel, Sales have become an end by themselves, and accordingly sales maximization has become the ultimate objective of any firm. Hence, the management of a firm directs its energies in promoting and maximizing its sales revenue instead of profit. So here is a difference, that companies, after all, every company wants to maximize profit in the long run. But how will a company gain profit? It is said that larger the size of revenue, more is the profit to be made. So this is why the emphasis here is not exactly profit maximization, rather it is revenue maximization. रेवेन्यू मैक्सिमाइजेशन में अक्सर हम प्राइसेस को लो करके कम प्राइसेस पर हम ज़्यादा क्वांटिटीज सेल करने की कोशिश करते हैं, उससे ज़्यादा प्रॉफिट आ सकता है। अगर हमारा प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइजेशन का केवल ऑब्जेक्टिव होगा किसी भी कंपनी का, तो शायद प्राइसेस प्रोडक्ट्स की बहुत ज़्यादा होंगी, क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा प्रॉफिट कमाना चाहेगा, लेकिन उस केस में डिमांड मार्केट में उस प्रोडक्ट की कम होगी, यानी कि सेल कम होगी, रेवेन्यू कम हो जाएगा। तो इसलिए इस थ्योरी की इम्पोर्टेंस है दैट फर्म्स मस्ट फोकस ऑन मैक्सिमाइजिंग रेवेन्यू रादर देन प्रॉफिट। जब रेवेन्यू मैक्सिमाइज होगा तो प्रॉफिट भी अपने आप ज़्यादा मिलेगा। So this is where the goal of sales maximization is explained by the management's desire to maintain the firm's competitive position, which is dependent to a large extent on its size. The detail of it, you can go through and prepare your own answer. Better input has been put here. जैसा कि हमने बताया, इस पर ज़्यादा emphasis हम नहीं डालेंगे. You can see on your own. The answers are written here. Now, that is with this graph also that you can understand. In case of this, average revenue, marginal revenue is always below than average revenue. Stopping short of this quantity means that an opportunity for more revenue has been lost, whereas increasing sales beyond this. So this is the analysis part that you can go through. Now, another one, opportunity, nominal and real or implicit costs. This may be asked in your एग्जामिनेशन, दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट। सो व्हाट इज अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट? अगर हम थोड़े में समझना चाहें, एक लाइन में भी हम समझ सकते हैं, द नेक्स्ट बेस्ट अल्टरनेटिव सैक्रिफाइस्ड, दैट इज नोन एज अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट। इट इज एक्सप्लेन्ड हियर। द अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट ऑफ अ डिसीजन इज द कॉस्ट ऑफ सैक्रिफाइसिंग द अल्टरनेटिव्स टू दैट डिसीजन। In order to compare the alternatives, it is necessary that the costs of the sacrifices involved are measured. If there are no sacrifices, then there is no cost involved. Managerial decisions must be based on a clear understanding of the cost of alternative decisions and how relevant these costs are in a given situation. Now, nominal cost. Nominal cost refers to the money value of the cost incurred in getting a particular product. Real cost lies in the skill, efforts of a person. The way he toils and puts efforts in producing a particular product is known as real cost. Now, implicit cost. The implicit cost or opportunity cost can also be defined as the payment that would be necessary to draw forth the factors of production from their most remunerative alternative use or employment. And opportunity cost, in fact, earlier, has been defined. So the same is given here. So you can go through. So this was all about this particular video tutorial. I hope that this will definitely help you in preparing your answers to such questions from your examination viewpoint. If you have liked this video tutorial, please do not forget to subscribe my YouTube channel R Classes and press the bell button and pass it on to others, those who are needy now and in the future. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Best of luck.